Li Xingwan wore a book and became a married little celebrity with a black shirt all over her body. My husband is unlucky. Rumor has it that he is a poor and old hemiplegic. Not only that, but she also has to be someone's stepmother. Li Xingwan is living like a widow. Regarding this rumor, Li Xingwan himself remained silent. The online clamor is even more intense. The woman who appeared on screen that moment wouldn't be a woman taking care of her husband with hemiplegia, would she? And her ugly stepson. The whole family won't be in front of the camera for a while, will they perform some kind of emotional drama? Li Xingwan, she's just too shameless. For the sake of money, she even married someone with hemiplegia. As the camera rotates, who is that cold and ascetic human Buddha? Who is that cute and soft little bun? Ah. You're going crazy. Keywords of the novel. The stepmother of a wealthy family has become popular in reverse pasting on the children's variety show without a pop-up window. The stepmother of a wealthy family has become popular in reverse pasting on the children's variety show. Download the full text. The stepmother of a wealthy family has become popular in reverse pasting on the children's variety show. Latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. Wearing Books, the Most Poisonous Stepmother. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Wearing Books, the Most Poisonous Stepmother. The moonlight outside the window was thick, and a faint smell of alcohol spread in the indoor air. It makes one blush and heartbeat. On the big bed, a thin layer of sweat mist permeated the woman's forehead, causing her body to wriggle with some unease. Her neck was filled with a fine and dense scent of hormones, crispy and numb. Don't. The woman whimpered. But the wrist was grabbed by a strong hand and gently pushed up to the top of the head. Li Xingwan woke up in shock and looked at the ceiling. After realizing that it was in his own room, his cheeks were burning and he rolled his eyes in silence. Surprisingly, it's a spring dream. It seems that I really drank too much last night. The phone placed on the bedside was buzzing at this moment. Li Xingwan glanced over there, stretched out her slender waist, and reached out to take her phone. A lazy voice mixed with drowsiness. Hello. Li Xingwan. There came an explosive roar from over there. You haven't gotten up yet, have you? Li Xingwan silently moved the phone away from her, making her mouth stiff. How could it be? Don't pretend to be garlic for me. The agent continued to exert great force, vowing to wake her up. Don't forget, today is your first day back and also the first day you're going to make an appearance with your husband and son. When she heard the words, son, Li Xingwan was still normal, but when she heard the words, husband, she frowned and looked puzzled. Do I have a husband? Why doesn't she know about this? When the agent heard this, he almost closed his eyes and gave himself an urgent heart massage. Don't you have a husband? Are you sure you don't have a husband? Not only the voice on the phone, but also a voice came from above Li Xingwan's head. The voice was cold and low, and Li Xingwan's heart was tingling with shock, unable to recover for a long time. Including the agent over there, she was also stunned when she heard such a voice. Don't you have a husband? It's like seeing a ghost in broad daylight. Li Xingwan widened her eyes for a moment and then looked towards her head. When she suddenly touched a dangerous and lustful phoenix eye, she almost fell out of bed without being scared. The man was dressed in luxury, a handmade black suit with a straight posture. His aura is a combination of maturity, nobility, and authority. The kind that people need to look up to. And he also wore a string of Buddhist beads on his wrist. A ruthless and ruthless slaughter. The ambition to lock the secular world down. With a snap, Li Xingwan's phone fell to the ground, and a faint memory struck. Yes, she's wearing a book. The original owner's name was Li Xingwan. He is a small black slut in the entertainment industry. The type that is often boycotted and insulted by a large number of netizens. 3 years ago, she was falsely accused in the entertainment industry and could no longer survive, earning a notorious reputation. In addition, my family went bankrupt and I was deceived in a state of chaos and confusion. Although married, she is a stepmother. Moreover, the man who married her not only gave her a child, but also went abroad for 3 years without returning due to business issues. 3 years. This made her very dissatisfied, and in addition, she also had someone else in her heart. So I once felt very disgusted with everything now. Including that child, I wished the other person would die. So, this also gave rise to the image of child abuse, the most poisonous stepmother, and the infidelity of a young woman. Even more so, the man who called him back to his country directly swept out the door. It can be said that I lost face and didn't say anything, but also because my family is already bankrupt and nobody cares. Becoming a street mouse. He died of depression in his 20s. Li Xingwan woke up, and not long ago, the Fu family's industry had gradually stabilized. As a person wearing a book, she had her first conversation with the original owner's husband in her life. The other party spoke to her in a clear and deep voice. "I'm back." End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Parent-Child Variety, My Family of 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2 Parent-Child Variety, My Family of 3. At that time, Li Xingwan was also startled. But she also realized clearly that she wanted to change the tragic fate of the female lead, who was herself in the future. It's about to start from this moment. What she didn't know was that there was already a lot of cursing online by now. Li Xingwan. A woman who had her belly enlarged by some man back then. Didn't she marry a poor and paralyzed old man and give birth to an ugly-looking son when she retired from the industry 3 years ago? Wrong, I heard she's still a malicious stepmother. Is this to disgust us? When did the bottom line for inviting people from the production team reach that low? Come on, sisters, unite and call her studio, 0 watching, 0 playing. The reason why the whole network is so abusive. That's entirely because when the original owner married that man, they signed a confidentiality agreement. It will not be disclosed to the public. Li Xingwan cannot disclose it to the outside without authorization. So, those rumors outside can only be said as they are. As for what became a malicious stepmother, it was completely spread by the people she trusted the most around her. Looking at her slightly dementia, the man rolled his throat slightly and picked up the phone she had dropped on the ground with his hand wearing a string of Buddhist beads, then stuffed it back into her hand. "I'll wait for you outside." At the moment he approached, Li Xingwan seemed to smell a faint agarwood from him. And watched helplessly as the man stepped out of her room with his long legs. Li Xingwan only realized something later. 1. The husband whom the original owner hadn't seen in 3 years really went home. 2. He was just in her room, and she. Due to excessive worries before, she had a dream about how to deal with the newlywed husband of the original owner. She even rubbed her legs and whimpered looking down at the pajamas on my body. Ah. After realizing this, Li Xingwan almost didn't choose to crash into a wall and commit suicide. Shame. This is too shameful. It's even more sour and satisfying than being scolded by netizens. Hello. The agent over there shouted, almost piercing through her phone. Li Xingwan. Did you hear what I said at all? However, no one paid attention to her there. The angry agent Zhang Song hung up the phone directly. Now the members of the production team are all in the car. It is impossible to pull back the arrow at this time. It's impossible for Li Xingwan to run. Let's go straight. The agent said to the already activated camera. The opening order of the parent-child program, My Family of 3, is like this. The first person to appear will be the agent, and then the agent will guide them to the artist's home. So that the audience in the live broadcast room, as well as the fans of My Family of 3, can understand the living environment of each family. She. Ha. Netizens who saw this scene burst out laughing. Look quickly. Li Xingwan is indeed the same absent-minded Li Xingwan 3 years ago. Her agent's face has already turned green with anger. That's not it. When I saw the name Li Xingwan, I was speechless. She can also participate in this program because of her dark history. Who gave her face? Maybe we'll see a poor courtyard and an old woman later. Agent Jiang Song leaned forward to take a look at the review. When she saw the poor courtyard and the words, "old woman," she almost lost her breath. But to be honest, she also has no confidence in her heart. Because 3 years ago, she only knew that Li Xingwan suddenly got married. As for who she married, she didn't know, including her residence, which she had never been to. End of this chapter. Chapter 3 is finished. What is your husband's name? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3 is finished. What is your husband's name? If it weren't for her calling and saying she needed a temporary agent to make a comeback, and Jiang Song owed her a life like this before, she would probably not have paid attention to her. God bless, don't be too miserable. The agent's finger pinched the person. Friendship comes from friendship, but she still doesn't want to embarrass herself with her. It's over. I went to another live broadcast room to watch. The number of people in the live broadcast room instantly dropped to a very small level. Li Xingwan didn't know that she had already been discussed as a poor household by everyone. She was dazed for a while before getting up from the bed, her mind full of the string of Buddha beads lingering on her wrist when the man just stuffed the phone into her hand, and the next second, Li Xingwan flipped down from the bed and went rummaging through boxes and cabinets to find her marriage certificate. It's over. That man has never come back since he got married 3 years ago. The original owner lived in a luxurious mansion every day, drove a luxury car, squandered unlimited amounts of black cards, and carried LV and Chanel in her hand. But Duda never paid attention to anything about her husband, so much so that she had already forgotten what her husband's name was. She, the person who came through the book, felt like she had lost her memory. With a fierce memory, she couldn't remember anything. How can this be good? The entire room was searched by Li Xingwan, but there was only a faint trace without a marriage certificate. I don't know where to throw it for a long time. It also caused Li Xingwan to sweat profusely. It's over, it's really over now. Outside, the production team's car had already arrived outside the gate. When they saw the European-style gate of the Western building in front of them, as well as the 2 rows of black bodyguards standing outside, the live broadcast room immediately exploded, and many people who had already run away ran back to watch. This is the residence of the 18th tier Xiaofugia Li Xingwan. How could it be? Where could she afford such a place like this, a 18th tier slut from 5 years ago? Maybe it's because her own family is too poor and she feels embarrassed to meet people. So, she gave the production team a mistake. Even Jiang Song felt that they had gone in the wrong place, and she even tugged at the sleeves of the program crew with her fingers. Are you sure this is it? The people in the production team must know, because they came over in advance to confirm the route. Hearing Jiang Song ask so loudly, I couldn't help but look at her with confusion. Jiang Song immediately fell silent, afraid that the production team would notice that she was just a temporary agent. As everyone walked inside, the more they went inside, the more shocking it was to be speechless. The area inside is comparable to that of a grand estate, and every place is luxurious and exquisite, which is breathtaking. However, the people in the live broadcast room calmed down and began to speculate. Do you think Li Xingwan will come here to work as a servant? Right. That's highly likely. Maybe the man she married back then was the servant here. So, she followed suit and worked here. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect that the former 18th tier has already fallen to this kind of fate. Poor and pitiful, raise a donation for Li Xingwan and add 1. Pull up the arrow. Only the members of the production team remained relatively calm throughout the entire process. Continue walking inside. The netizens in the live broadcast room are becoming more and more worried as they watch. I really don't know what kind of life her own son will have. He won't be hungry or warm, right? It's possible to be wearing clothes picked up from a street vendor or looking extremely ugly. Ah, poor child. As everyone was discussing passionately, the camera suddenly turned and landed on a small figure. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Stepson Fu Xiaomo. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Stepson Fu Xiaomo. At that glance, the netizens in the live broadcast room were suddenly shocked and adorable. I saw Fu Xiaomo, who was 5 years old, walking with short legs. 2 little hands kicked into the gray suspenders, wearing a business vest and shirt of the same color scheme. The young and serious appearance he wore was simply irresistibly amusing. In addition, his exquisitely carved jade-like small face is simply adorable and lifeless. My heart is almost drifting away. Oh my God, who is he, and who is he? Can anyone help me ask, what kind of sack does he like? How about walking with Auntie? Auntie will buy you a Porsche. Oh my God, I really want to hug you. Jiang Song, who was present, almost couldn't hold back. A bear hugged him and immediately ran away, intending to commit the crime against the wind. This Jian is really cute. She's almost on the verge of nosebleeds. Fu Xiaomo seemed to have noticed the camera here, paused for a moment, and greeted the camera with a childish voice. Hello everyone, I am Fu Xiaomo. I am the son of my mother Li Xingwan. You can call me Mo. It's my mother Li Xingwan's son. This definitely left countless faces for Li Xingwan. In fact, Li Xingwan hates this stepson so much every day. I never cared about him at all. This also led to Fu Xiaomo never enjoying any parental love. But this child is a very sensible and heartbreaking kind. Although she is not close to him, the little one always treats her like a mother. It should be said that in his memory, Li Xingwan was his mother. After all, when the original owner came, he was only a little over 2 years old. So, even if the original owner is not good to him, he will still want to get closer to her. Pooh. In the live broadcast room, hundreds of thousands of netizens suddenly flooded in, collectively spraying water. Ha! What did he say? Is he the son of Li Xingwan? I'll go. Isn't Li Xingwan supposed to be someone's stepmother? How could there be such a beautiful child? That's not the point, irons. The point is, the clothes on this cute little treasure seem very valuable. The live broadcast room remained silent for a while before continuing to type on the keyboard. Is it difficult? The owner of this top-tier family is also friendly to their servants' children. Is there a possibility? Li Xingwan's status here is also relatively high. Impossible. If it weren't for Li Xingwan's servant here, I would have been able to perform eating right away. Are you here to find my mom? Fu Xiaomo couldn't see the barrage, so he didn't know what kind of ghosts everyone was discussing. After thinking for a while, he finally decided. I'll take you to find my mom. The reason why he thought about it was entirely because he didn't know if Li Xingwan would be happy to see him. She might also throw him out of her room with a stern face. Thinking of this, the little guy lowered his head for a moment, looking a bit disheartened. However, he was afraid of bringing shame on his mother and quickly concealed it. The barrage in the live broadcast room is increasing one by one. Auntie won't find your mom, she'll find you. Let your mom walk a little further away. Have you noticed anything? In this child's eyes, there was a fleeting moment of closure just now. Do you have it? Fu Xiaomo has already walked towards the villa. The camera naturally followed him in. Everyone immediately straightened their eyes. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Sleeping Trough. Is this Li Xingwan? You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Chapter 5 Sleeping Trough. Is this Li Xingwan? High-priced French oil paintings, wall lamps that inherit Western heritage, outrageously luxurious furniture, well-serviced and considerate robots, and the white staircase that spins down from the second floor. This has made everyone seriously aware of what a top-tier powerhouse is. Mommy. Fu Xiaomo stepped up the stairs. He is different from other children who shout loudly. Instead, he is taught to be very polite, lightly tapping the door 3 times with his fingers to make a sound. Are you awake? The netizens in the live broadcast room who saw this scene almost didn't explode. What did this little guy grow up eating? Why is he so well behaved and polite? And when he knocks on the door, he knows how to knock 3 times with his fingers. Unlike my little bear, who doesn't open the door for him, he just kicks it with a bang. My family is also impolite. I always want to take my shoes and slap him. No, haven't you noticed a problem? This is Li Xingwan's bedroom. The live broadcast room fell silent for a while again, and someone replied in a divine voice below. It should be wearing servant's clothes, cleaning the bedroom. The live broadcast room, which had just been silent for a while, surged again. Then we'll have some eye candy in a while, at least we can see the impressive 18th tier female celebrities wearing servant clothes. Screenshot. Are everyone ready to take a screenshot? Let's send her on Weibo. No one noticed that Xiaomo Bao, who was being praised by netizens for being very polite, instinctively withdrew from his position after asking that question. It seems like there are some physiological reactions. Afraid of Li Xingwan suddenly roaring out from inside. Tell him to go further and not appear in front of her. But he still wants to get close to this mother. At this point, wake up. Li Xingwan's somewhat panicked voice came from inside. Immediately, Mommy will go out immediately. Then came the door that was opened. In an instant, countless pairs of eyes were stunned. I saw the woman who opened the door and came out, dressed in a lazy and casual red tight-fitting long dress, with snow-white skin like jade, and slightly curled long hair sticking to the side of her face. That face is indescribably exquisite, and proud. That has a small waist. The people in the live broadcast room gestured towards their waist while peeking at the screen. Those eyes were all wide-eyed. Sleeping trough, is that waist? Why is the old man's bucket so empty? There are also those who drool 3,000 feet straight. Who is this beautiful little sister? Is she the princess in this castle? I take back what I said before. I can't just steal this little doll. I want to steal this beautiful woman together. Speak up. What kind of burlap do they like? Snake belts are also good. And when will that ugly woman Li Xingwan come out? Next second. Mommy, Fu Xiaomo shouted directly at the woman. Sleeping slut. The people in the live broadcast room almost exploded. Is this Li Xingwan? Are you sure it's her? I'll go. How does this feel like a different person compared to 5 years ago? 5 years ago, Li Xingwan was not as good looking as before, but she insisted on painting that kind of very gorgeous makeup, which was very exaggerated. At that time, I was being searched by Black and Hot, and I couldn't even get down. She was once rated as the ugliest female celebrity on the internet. The members of the production team were also stunned when they saw Li Xingwan, and even wondered if they had recorded the wrong person. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Li Xingwan called her stepson little baby. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Chapter 6. Li Xingwan called her stepson little baby. But soon Li Xingwan slapped them in the face. She looked at the well-behaved and very sensible child, and then thought about the actions of the original owner. I just wanted to slap the original owner. How come such a cute little nanny doesn't know how to treat others well? There are so many soft and cute things. She, who is soft and cute, feels a bit tempted to come up and kiss. And when the child called her, she instinctively clenched her two small fists, appearing a bit nervous. This makes Xingwan even more heartbroken. She remembers it being written in the book. When the female protagonist died, no one shed tears for her and felt sad. But this little child held on to the original owner tightly, tears streaming out. I want the original owner to come back again. I swear I won't make her angry again in the future. As long as she can come back, he will never appear in front of her. I always thought the original owner was his own mother. Mo Bao, are you awake? Come on. Let mommy hold you quickly. Xingwan was different, as she saw the child's heart-wrenching pleasure. Opening his arms, he enthusiastically embraced the little one. I was immediately embraced with a full embrace. Little one. You're so soft to hold. Everyone in the live broadcast room. Little Mo, who was suddenly hugged and stiffened, said, What the hell is this woman doing? Is she acting? I'll go. Why didn't I realize before that Xingwan's acting skills were so good? The netizens in the live broadcast room exploded on the screen. Still hugging. Still a little baby. Why doesn't she go get an international movie queen? That's right, if it's Stepmother, don't pretend. Show her face, we're all about to vomit. Hurry up and let go of that child, don't hold him anymore, don't throw him up in a while. Mom. Xiaomo also took half a day to react and was shocked to the point of not being able to react. This seems to be Xingwan's first time holding him. He was somewhat frightened and afraid that it would be a dream. After a while, this woman will have to drive him away again. However, there was also some joy in that heart. And mommy used to call him by his first name, Fu Xiaomo. Now he actually called him Mo Bao. Even if it's a dream, even if mommy is pretending now. He also wants to dream of greed for a little longer. Xingwan was afraid of scaring the child, so she hugged the child for a while before releasing it and touching little Mo Bao's face. Tell me, did you sleep well last night? She remembers writing in the book that after the parent-child variety show started, Xiaomo Bao couldn't sleep well all night because of his long-term tension with Xingwan. After all, it's such a small child, how could the body possibly handle it? In addition, recording programs is very tiring for them at this young age. He didn't have a good meal, so a few days after the recording of the program, the little guy suddenly fainted and his face turned pale. This directly led to the complete downfall of Xingwan's reputation. He also solidified his reputation as a malicious stepmother. Later on, they gradually retreated and proved to be vicious. A vicious cycle, dying from depression and being persecuted severely. So, she must pay attention to some things. We cannot let this happen again. Little Mo Bao, he didn't sleep well last night and was nervous all night. But when facing Xingwan, he still said one thing. I have slept well. Xingwan knew that the child must be lying. I don't want her to worry. I'm even more afraid that she might suddenly stop recording with him. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Believing in Buddhism but like a demon. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Believing in Buddhism but like a demon, so, that's why I said that. However, the programs have already started. She couldn't let the little one go back to sleep now. Okay, if we get tired later, Mom will find a chance for you to rest more. Today's Xingwan is really gentle especially when talking to him. I really feel like a very good mom. I don't know what kind of reaction to expect from this little ink treasure. The atmosphere in the live broadcast room is somewhat solidified. This outfit is so similar. They want to award her a prize at this moment, someone suddenly reacted. May I ask, Li Xingwan, why isn't she wearing a nanny outfit? Everyone. The air is once again silent. They also want to know. A certain brainless netizen. Perhaps the employer of this company treated her and her son better, right? Knowing that they were going on a variety show, they deliberately made them dress up to avoid losing face. The sound of agreement now began to increase. Right, that's highly likely. Maybe when her servant husband comes out later, he'll slap her face. Yes, I think everyone should be mentally prepared. Maybe they will see some older man or a servant covered in dust later. The next second, young lady, young master. Breakfast is already ready. The scene in the live broadcast room was like pressing the pause button again. There was no movement for a long time. At the same time, everyone's heart is also filled with a thump. Sleeping slot. Who is it called? Young lady and young master, are they at Li Xingwan and Fu Xiaomo? Wait, just now they seem to have overlooked a detail, which is that Fu Xiaomo actually has the surname Fu. The surname Fu is an unparalleled presence among top financial conglomerates in China. I'll go. It seems like everyone has discovered some major secret in a moment. I finally understand now why Li Xingwan suddenly disappeared from the entertainment industry 3 years ago and married someone with hemiplegia. It turns out that this hemiplegia is a top-tier tycoon. Disappointed, she's not really a good bird. She could even marry someone with hemiplegia for money. When her paralyzed husband comes out later, it may irritate our eyes. Hello everyone, it's better to wash in advance. The live broadcast room seemed to explode. Zhang's agent and director stared at the live broadcast room, also watching it with their own eyes. From everyone shouting and cursing without looking at it, it gradually rose to tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and now it is still exploding. Even directly beat up the other 3 live broadcast rooms. This scene is completely unexpected. But it's a good thing to curse back and forth. At least there hasn't been that kind of situation where not many people are watching. Just is the husband of Li Xingwan's top-tier tycoon really hemiplegic? I haven't even seen this from the program team. Everyone's hearts lifted one after another, and even the nearby staff couldn't help but remind them. Miss Li, should your husband also join in? This reminder reminded Li Xingwan of her husband again, as she was about to turn around and ask the servant at home. I heard footsteps coming from upstairs. At that moment, everyone's eyes fell. The tall and slender figure of the man crashed into his pupils. The black suit showcases nobility, as well as the dangerous and inviolable gaze of the man turning around. The key point is that at the moment when he lazily descended the stairs, the black Buddhist beads lingering on his wrist set him off like an extraordinary expert. At the same time, it also reminds people of a word. Believing in Buddhism, yet like a demon. It's crazy to criticize. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Hello, Fu Xiaomo, hello, your father. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Hello, Fu Xiaomo, hello, your father. Who is he? And who is he? At this moment, the live broadcast room was like a madman, with waves of climax that could not be stopped. Husband. Husband. He's my husband. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. I want my husband to see me. The tall and upright man came down from upstairs with an inviolable appearance. His gaze was fixed on Li Xingwan's face, and after a few seconds, he stood in front of her, a head taller than her. That kind of oppression is still very strong. But inexplicably, there is a very harmonious feeling. A straight and dark path, a charming and stunning path. The black suit on his body collided fiercely with the wine-red suspender dress. A feeling of extreme desire. At that moment, Li Xingwan's heartbeat inexplicably increased a bit. She licked the slightly thirsty corner of her lips and extended her hand to the man. Hello, Li Xingwan. Hello, God Special. But when she realized it, she had already done so. Anyway, she just replaced the original owner. The original owner and he are just strangers and have never known each other. Fu Qingzhou doesn't know much about the woman in front of him. It can even be said that the impression is not as good. He knew that the other party was a cursed 18th-tier celebrity who couldn't survive in the entertainment industry 3 years ago. I have also seen some black material reports about her. Getting married 3 years ago was just an act of impatience. It's unknown whether she calculated it or not. Originally, I came back with the intention of now, he has slightly improved his outlook. Looking at the white and delicate hand she reached out to. Staring for 2 or 3 seconds, I grabbed the hand. Hello, you. Grasp your palms together and heat will surge. Li Xingwan. Everyone. Do these two people not know each other? However, Li Xingwan's attention fell on the Buddha beads hovering around his wrist, which should have produced awe, but he didn't know why. She felt that wearing this thing on the man's wrist was not like that. And he hasn't said his name yet. The next second, Fu Qingzhou's hand had already let go of her and turned to look at his son who was almost like him. Li Xingwan. Done. No mention. I really didn't say anything. The little Mo Bao standing beside her lifted his head and looked at the man in front of him. After a while, he extended his hand solemnly to the man. Learn from Li Xingwan's appearance and introduce yourself. Hello, Fu Xiaomo. Fu Qingzhou's mouth twitched inexplicably. This little thing, it's been 3 years since we last met, and I don't even know him anymore. Even the netizens in the live broadcast room almost laughed to death. With my own dad, still using yours. Only Li Xingwan was aware of this, which is why Fu Xiaomo has always been intimate with Li Xingwan. Treat her as one's own mother. I just feel that she doesn't like herself. So, no matter how the female lead pushes him away, he will stick it up hard. Hello, Fu Qingzhou held the little one's small hand with his big hand. The voice suddenly changed, with a hint of humor. Your father. She. Ha ha ha. The audience in the live broadcast room suddenly burst into laughter. Hello, Fu Xiaomo. Hello, your father. Ha ha ha, let's just laugh to death. This father-son couple is really funny. Oh, it seems like something's wrong. He said he's Fu Xiaomo's father, so his wife is. Sleeping slot, sleeping slot. Sleeping slot. End of this chapter. Chapter 9, Should I pour you a glass of water to drink? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9, Should I pour you a glass of water to drink? The kind where everyone's jaw drops in shock, and even some people send out crying emojis. I feel like my husband has been taken away by someone, Li Xingwan, you ugly woman, little black slut. Get out of my way. Someone immediately replied. Li Xingwan. Doesn't seem ugly. Everyone. Sleeping Trough, where the hell did this person come from? Can you be on the same front as these little black fans? In an instant, everyone began to pick up the account that left insightful comments. When Fu Xiaomo heard the man in front of him say, your father, he furrowed his brow. How do I feel? You seem to be cursing me. Ha ha ha. Everyone in the live broadcast room laughed again. Even Li Xingwan, who was standing next to the little guy, almost couldn't hold back. The program groups next to me have some difficulty understanding the operations of this family of 3. Why did you start introducing yourself like you're not familiar with me? Perhaps the expression on the faces of the program team members, as well as Jiang Song's expression, suddenly became somewhat tense after realizing something, and his heart was lifted. Can't it be Li Xingwan who, for the sake of face, brought herself a fake husband? And then hid that paralyzed husband? After gaining this awareness, everyone dared not breathe anymore. That account was also hacked out. Originally, everyone wanted to go crazy in the past. Unexpectedly, the other party's account was full of level V. No one dares to speak up again. However, soon everyone noticed a problem: this family of 3 is really unfamiliar. On the first day of this parent-child program, there were no requirements for the guests, as long as they showed the most authentic way of getting along in front of the camera first. Other families have already watched TV together, playing games together in the park. There are also scenes of scholarly families reading books together. Only Xingwan and his family left silent after introducing themselves. There seemed to be a feeling of not knowing each other in the atmosphere. Finally, Xingwan coughed lightly to ease the somewhat awkward situation. The sentence asked was actually a pig's cry from the netizens in the live broadcast room. "Well, should I pour you a glass of water to drink?" She asked Fu Qingzhou about that. After all, she has just returned from abroad and is her husband whom she has not seen in 3 years. And as a wife who idles around the house all day, she has to pour someone a glass of water to drink, right? Fu Qingzhou. Shu. Are they really married? How does it feel like we just met? These are not the main points. The point is that Xingwan not only married into a top-tier family, but also has a very handsome son. And, she has a very wealthy husband. Full-level Guardian V. Some netizens have said they want to eat s. I really want to drive this big V out of the live broadcast room. How can I break it? Mrs. Fu over there was leisurely knocking on melon seeds. She was wearing a pair of silver-rimmed gold-rimmed glasses with a chain, watching the live broadcast foolishly. When the old lady typed the word "silly bee" and reminded netizens to go eat s, she almost killed the servants at home. They only know that the old lady is so old and still likes to skateboard. But unexpectedly, when the old lady started using internet slang, she was also a thief. These netizens don't know, but Xingwan knows. She had seen in the book that after the live broadcast of the original owner's family of 3 began, the old lady of the Fu family has already entered the live broadcast room. End of this chapter. 10. Chapter 10. This virtuous wife and good mother seems to be a bit difficult to pretend to be. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. It seems that this virtuous wife and good mother can't keep up. It was also at this time that she saw the various performances of the original owner. And I feel that the original owner cannot be kept. Completely offended Mrs. Fu. As for usual, when she sees an old lady, she always pretends to be virtuous and kind to the children in front of them. Unexpectedly, after pretending for 3 years, I was exposed in the live broadcast room. After all, who would have thought that an old lady in her 70s was also an experienced surfer on the internet? So, she must also pay attention to this. Be cautious in your words and actions. We cannot end up with a tragic death. Xingwan racked her brains and thought about how to make the atmosphere at home lively. But when she saw the black Buddhist beads hovering around Fu Qingzhou's wrist, she felt like she was thinking of the Arabian Nights. But this person doesn't seem to have any fun. It's like the kind that does superficial work, but at the same time, it's the kind that can strangle gods and Buddhas. Fu Qingzhou sat down on the sofa, and Fu Xiaomo glanced at him but did not go over. Xingwan gave a dry laugh and turned into the kitchen. I'll help you cut some fruits. Fu Qingzhou casually picked up the financial magazine on the table to read. Until there was a sound of knives chopping and screaming coming from the kitchen. Fu Xiaomo. This variety show has regulations that the 4 groups of families participating in the show must personally handle everything. Since the production team entered their hall, the servants have all gone out. In the kitchen, Xingwan looked at the fruits she had cut and was very stunned. In her previous life, before she wore a book, she was a very successful actress in film and television. It's special, not to mention cutting fruits. She hasn't even touched a knife. Those hands are even insured at the million level. So now her eyebrows were bulging and jumping. This virtuous wife and mother seemed to be unable to pretend. It's over, this is just the beginning, and I might be dying soon. Mommy. Little Maobao spoke suspiciously towards the inside. Do you need any help? No need. Li Xingwan decisively refused. I'll be out soon. Rescue cannot be remedied anymore, Li Xingwan can only carry the plate of cut fruits out. When she placed it on that table with a thud, the whole internet burst into laughter. They have never seen anyone cut fruits so skillfully. Like chopping cabbage and feeding it to pigs. Suddenly, I felt very sympathetic towards that esteemed figure like a god and Buddha. Even Fu Qingzhou and Fu Xiaomo's eyelids twitched. I was stunned for a while without any reaction. You. Fu Qingzhou spoke out. Little Mo Bao likes to eat. Li Xingwan quickly spoke up. Little Mo Bao. Okay. Then he likes to eat. Yes. I just love eating fruits cut like mommy. The little one nodded heavily, giving face. Reaching out with both hands, he held the plate of fruit in his arms and took a bite. Mommy, the cut fruit is so sweet. He ate it for the first time. Extremely touching. This little appearance made Li Xingwan couldn't help but go over and hug him. Little baby, that's great. That expression, that dependent and affectionate look in the eyes of the little one, doesn't seem to be a pretense at all. It seems to come from within. Mommy will eat with you. She opened her mouth towards the little one and gestured for him to feed her. This little guy opened his eyes wider again. Mom. Mommy actually asked him to feed her. Is he okay? End of this chapter.